Hi, and welcome to another special edition of Wake Up and Live with the Arts. We are beginning a series of special Wake Up and Live with the Arts programs, some of which will be tied into this fabulous new Ingenuity Fest. We are part of the Art Cadence aspect of the entire Ingenuity Arts and Cultural and Technology Festival. So we're glad you joined us for this evening. And normally, Chris Fortunato would be my co-host. He's not here, but I am Sue Johnson, your co-host. And pinch hitting tonight with our guest, Edward Nyam, we have, what is his name? His name is Mack McMichaels. And before I got here this evening to this new Wake Up and Live studio on remote live at the Galleria, East 9th Street, where we'll be for the next several weeks, Mack and Ed got a chance to do some chit-chatting because they've got a lot of things in common. The holistic health and well-being concept, we all practice it. They practice it professionally. I just practice it as best I can. So anyway, before I got here, Matt, what were you and Ed talking about as it relates to? Was it more than just Tai Chi Gong?
Well, yeah, we had a great little conversation right out here in the lobby, wherever this is.
This is the Galleria. This
nice.
is the food court.
Like
We're hanging out here. In fact, even the ambiance, you can hear perhaps the background noise, like the mall music.
Right.
And a little echo in here because this isn't our usual sound stage studio.
This is perfect. I'm glad I made the effort to get down.
Well, I'm glad you did too,
Doug. Lester said there was it was free after 6. We'll find out. But Ed, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
We were talking a little bit earlier before you came to, as you mentioned, and the first thing that struck me about Ed, of course, I told him I'm a chiropractor, so we share a lot in common right away, the holistic approach to health, but I like to call it well-being. And then I asked Ed a little bit about how long he'd been doing this type of thing, and of course he started telling me some of his background. University of Akron.
Yes.
Department of Performing Arts, drama, ballet, and we kind of moved into
Wait, let's back up. Department of Drama, Ballet.
My degree is in history and philosophy.
Yes, but you did teach.
Taught classes.
Right, and you taught some ballet. That's what I mean.
Oh, how fascinating. So how did you get from ballet to the martial arts, the Far Eastern martial arts?
I taught my type of martial arts to some of the ballet dancers.
Okay, and what is your type of martial arts?
I have combined Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, Shaolin Kung Fu, and traditional Chinese medicine into a system for healing that's good for anybody of any age.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about your system. How does it work? How would it benefit a Mac or me, or anybody for that matter?
It benefits you guys greatly. It benefits everybody.
In what ways,
there are exercises to help blend the mind, body, and spirit, to improve your health. They'll build new muscle tissue, helps improve bone density, gives you more of an awareness of yourself internally and externally. It gives you a connection with your body that most people don't have.
Is that a heightened sense of awareness, being aware of what your innards are doing, and
yes,
getting in touch with your muscles, with your energies, and how you're feeling, and all that other stuff is included in that?
Most people don't have that because they don't use their bodies and minds together. Dancers have it, to a pretty high degree because of what they do. A lot of athletes have it. But the average person in a white-collar job sits at a desk or walks around an office. What they do doesn't require their mind and body to work together. Person doing physical work, it doesn't require their mind and body to work together either.
Yeah, the average person, I imagine, in their lifestyle, there's a complete separation of the two, depending on what they're doing at any particular time during the day.
Right.
Another thing you mentioned to me I thought was interesting, and you and I kind of agreed on this, because I see patients who have made that change over the years. The type of patient that I see, more into people out there are looking for some tranquility, some peace of mind in their life. Whereas in your teachings, initially, isn't that somewhat self-defense your initial teaching, or maybe not self-defense, maybe offense, how to fight.
Right.
But now you kind of change that teaching into, because even when you're teaching the self-defense with your type of background, I know that the beginning of that spiritual has to come from within before anybody can perform outward to the degree you had ever wanted them to perform.
Right.
All that has to start from inside and work out. And now it seems like you're telling me you're kind of concentrating more on that inner, not for the purpose of defense or offense, but for the purpose of self-realization and self-knowledge and self-love.
Right. Yeah, my original training was in Shaolin Kung Fu.
Was that my favorite way back from
TV show?
David the Carradine?
Yes, sure.
I love that. I was so sorry to see the demise, the end of that era.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my original training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I taught that for quite a few years. And it is an offensive combat kind of program. A couple years ago, I decided I wanted to teach the health aspects, because all of that training has parts of it that are designed just for health. Mm-hmm. And you're right, you have to connect with yourself.
Right.
You'll understand yourself better by doing the movements, doing the exercises, doing the meditations. You begin to connect, and everyone is looking for tranquility. I get calls all the time from people that just want to take meditation.
Right.
And I teach meditation as part of the program.
Okay.
Everyone's looking for something because they don't want to get medicated.
Sure.
To feel better, because it's not a true feel better.
Exactly.
It's temporary.
And artificial.
Yes, and artificial.
Yeah. Right. Creates other problems that you got to take other medications to get rid of those problems.
Do you know, it is such now that I joke, because all the pharmaceuticals, of course, have been advertising the past couple of years heavily on TV, which is causing the medications to skyrocket, number one. But number two, I have decided to keep whatever disease or condition I have, because it's less worse than the side effects that they list for every one of the medications that they are advertising on TV. Now, how did you, am I pronouncing this right, how did you come into the Tai Chee Kung style? How did you evolve into that particular style?
Tai Chi, the way it's done now, is a healing art. It's an exercise form. Qigong is also a whole system of healing arts. So what I did is I combined the name, because most people, Qigong has become very trendy. It's something that everybody wants to do because they think it's easy and they think it's good for them. And it is easier than traditional Chinese martial arts. Tai Chi is also a little easier because anybody can do it. You can teach children, you can teach people who are 100 years old as long as they can move. So by combining the two, plus some of the other modalities, I've come up with something that's for your health. You can improve your health no matter what condition you're in. And it's fun to do.
On top of that, yes.
Right.
Now, do you also teach this? No, not you also, because you've already said that you do teach it.
Right.
If somebody was interested in taking classes or learning more about Tai Chi Gong, how would they reach you?
They can just call my office at 330-342-0838.
Would you repeat that for everybody, please?
330-342-0838.
And do you have an email address?
An email and a website. It's easiest to go to the website.
Easier,
because
okay.
You can connect right there. It's instituteforselfhealing.com.
All one word, instituteforselfhealing.com.
Right.
Okay. Now, yes, sir.
One of the things I wanted Ed to talk about just a minute was the group you have of senior citizens. You were telling me about.
All right.
And I thought that was interesting because not only what they're learning, but what they take away from the class to do something on their own. Go ahead and elaborate that on. I thought that was very interesting, how they respond.
Right. I have a real toned-down program for seniors. And I teach seniors anywhere from the age of 65 to over 100. And I love working with them because they love to come to class. They're always thanking me for coming to class, and they work so hard at it.
Right.
And you have to think that this generation, there's actually a couple generations between 60 and 100, Most of them are women because the men are all dead by then. They never had exercise.
Right.
You know, their generation never had the opportunity of sports.
Right.
So exercise for them is new. And I have people in wheelchairs, I have people in walkers who come to class, and they still stand up and do the exercises.
I've seen pictures, and it looks so refreshing and re-energizing and revitalizing and
Right.
very easy on the physical part of your being.
Well, one of the reasons why I bring that up is because in your classes with the younger, you're actually teaching them things they can do on their own outside your class.
Right.
But with the seniors, you say they get just as much joy because they wake up, they look forward to going someplace. It's not teaching them to do
It's a
something on their own. They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
It's a social event. But at the same time, you made the comment to me, you wish you could show them the video of their first lesson.
Yes.
And then like 8 weeks later, and how they would get a kick out of that.
Because a lot of them don't think they're improving.
Right.
And I've told them, I said, if I took a video of the first day and then showed you a few months later, you wouldn't believe it.
Well, that would make a nice segue to what you're going to be doing with us this edition of Wake Up and Live with the Arts. And you're going to be doing a little demonstration of how it works. And we have two of our very own production staff who are going to be in your class.
Yes.
And Cassandra Cornelius and Anastasia Baxter have agreed to be part of this demo session.
Yes.
So why don't we take a moment, let you get set up so that you can show the world how this works, and then how almost anybody, and you talk about senior citizens, I'm not going there yet, honey. But yeah, I was going to piggyback on what you were saying. I would imagine that people with arthritis would find your sessions helpful in alleviating pain and or at least taking their minds off pain while they are involved with you.
This is almost magical for arthritis. It'll actually reduce the effects, and it can almost eliminate it in some cases.
Yes, because
I believe that everybody has a little bit of it, but it's here where the symptoms are.
exactly. Okay, well, let's take a moment and let's get set up so that we can see Ed Nyam in action. Ed is getting ready to show us some of the basic Tai Qigong moves that we have seen pictures of folks doing these exercises, and it looks so enticing and exciting and above all relaxing and energizing. So Ed, show us some of the basic moves, if you will. Mentioned earlier about how he used to teach dancers, and you can almost see the dancing-like qualities of what he is doing, the fluidity of motion, the gentleness, the rhythm. And if you'll notice, even he is focusing and concentrating as he is doing this. No sudden moves, easily, gently done, almost in a dreamlike state. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me ask you, in some of the disciplines, like yoga, for instance, they have names for various positions that are stances that are taken. Right. Do the movements in Tai Chi Gong have names associated with them at all?
Yes, most of the movements have a name. Okay. For example, the one I did at the beginning, where I step out here, it's called grasp the bird's tail. Grasp the bird's tail.
Okay.
Right. This is called a backhand strike. This is called ward off. This is called a hook.
And so it goes like that.
Right.
And the folks who participate in learning this and doing this, do they learn the names of the movements, or do they just do the actions without being concerned about the names that are associated with them?
No, they actually learn the names. They get a list. And when I teach the movements, they hear the names over and over again.
Okay, well, speaking of teaching the movements, that segues nicely into our next segment. So now we will ask our co-host and our two production crew to come over and join Ed for reluctantly. And we also have behind us, we have Cheryl Lee Wilson, who is determined not to be on camera. Is this thing on? Okay. Cheryl Lee is the head of the Arts Network, and she is the instrumental guru person who got us involved with the Ingenuity Fest, the Art Cadence project, and why we are down here at the Galleria from now until about September 30th. So Cheryl Lee Wilson, we owe her an awful lot of thanks and gray hairs for putting up, for getting this Art Cadence and Ingenuity Arts and Cultural and Technology Festival off the ground with our participation as Wake Up and Live with the Arts and Wake Up and Live's Actors Studio. So you are all set. And to Mack's right, we have Anastasia Baxter, and to Mack's left, we have Cassandra Cornelius, known as Cass. And now we will have a teaching session of how to become involved with Tai Chi Gong, demonstrated and taught by Ed Nyam.
The first movement from the Tai Chi form, there's some basics with the form that you have to understand. You have to relax, think about breathing low, keep your back straight. I'll explain that as we're doing it. Just start with your legs shoulder width apart. Feet are parallel to each other. Good posture. The Tai Chi hand, which is what we're going to be using, has slight separation between the fingers and thumb, and it's relaxed. We're going to do the arm movements first. You're going to bring your arms up like this, just above the shoulders, then bring them down. You inhale coming up into the lower abdomen, go down. When you come up, dip your fingers slightly, lift them slightly going down. Now we're going to add the legs. You're going to come up the same way, inhale. Now, when you come down, begin to bend your knees. The arms are going down. When your arms are halfway down is when you begin to straighten the legs so that everything finishes here at the same time. So inhale up. Exhale, bend the knees, relax. Straighten the legs so the arms and legs finish at the same time. Inhale up. Exhale. Your legs tighten naturally just from the bending motion. Inhale up, keep a nice steady rhythm. Stay at my pace. Everybody looks good. Relax. Relax your shoulders. Imagine your hands are lifting your arms. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, very good. That exercise actually opens the Tai Chi form. It's also done as an exercise, and it's also done as a moving meditation. People hear about meditation where you're not just sitting. This is one of them. Once you get good at the mechanics of the movement, then you just focus on your breathing, and you go into a very deep meditative state.
I imagine that the breathing is difficult for most people. They're not used to doing that.
Right. Most people do not breathe in the lower abdomen.
Right.
When we were born, we breathed that way. When we were babies, babies all breathe that way. As we age, our bodies change, we begin breathing through the lungs. But you can change it back. The concept in Chinese medicine is when you breathe low and move your qi, or life energy, into your abdomen, you're actually massaging the organs and actually exercising them every time you breathe. So the next exercise is called grasp the bird's tail. It's also part of the form. On this, you're going to start with your legs shoulder width apart. We're going to do the arms first. Your right arm is underneath, palm up, left on top, palm down. The right arm comes out like this. The left makes a loop and comes down here in front of the leg. Bring them back to the starting point. Now we're going to move them at the same time. Come out, here. Come back. Come out, here. Okay, that's great. Now we're going to add the legs. On the legs, you're going to shift your weight back to your left first. Lift your right, step back a little bit. Just off to the side a little bit. Bring your foot forward a little bit. Now, strike out and shift the weight forward. Everybody stop here. This is the first portion of the movement. You change the weight to this leg, and you're extended in the strike position. Shift the weight back, bring the hands back to here. Good. Strike out, shift the weight, keep your arms relaxed. Good. Come back. Strike out. This exercise develops new leg muscle, massages the joints, gets your body to move in a nice fluid motion, and connects your mind and body together in a way that never was before. Relax, exhale out, inhale back. Exhale, inhale. You guys are great. If you look in the direction where you're striking, here and back. Exhale. Inhale. One more. Out. And back. Very good. So that's normally done on both sides.
You have one more that you could show us, because it'll be time to wrap up shortly.
Right. This is called Lift the Sky. This is a great exercise. It's also done as a moving meditation. You make your shoulder width apart or a little wider. Feet are parallel. Your arms are relaxed. You're going to bring your hands up like this. Just go ahead and do it with me. Push your palms to the ceiling here. Bring them down at the sides and exhale. Bend your knees. When your arms are parallel to the floor, you begin to straighten the legs so everything finishes at the same time. Inhale and stretch up. Exhale, come down, and finish. Inhale up, breathe deep into the lower abdomen. Exhale and come down. Stretch up. That's great. Inhale. You feel your leg muscles tighten naturally just from the motion. The upper body is relaxed, but even in this relaxed motion, you're building new muscle in the upper body. This is also done as a moving meditation when you get good at the mechanics of the movement. It's also great as a morning exercise when you get out of bed. Last one. Up. And, okay, very good. You guys did a great job.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. And a couple of points I'd like to add on about, we were talking earlier about Mack is an example of a person who has a physical condition. In his case, he's had back surgery. And you demonstrated how people even with limited physical mobility can take advantage of this kind of exercise.
Right. Anybody with any kind of physical problem can do this training. And in Mack's particular situation with the back problem, everything we're doing here is designed to build the center of the body and to build a leg. So he'll improve tremendously just by doing this.
That type of exercise.
Yes.
And the other thing is something that you touched on, because this is, of course, a true art form. And what we do in theater and in singing as well as dancing, I was going to bring it up, but you already did, about breathing, how important that is, and how most people forget how to breathe from the diaphragm. And we certainly do a number of exercises with our acting classes and workshops where part of what they must do is work on breathing, because we like to use the expression that we are an instrument through which the expression flows. And if we are closed up tightly without without an open airflow, then we can't let the artistic expression flow freely through us. So yes, even in the form of arts that we do, it's real important that breathing is the first activity. And we actually do those breathing exercises alone without anything else until people get in the rhythm of learning how to inhale and exhale diaphragmatically.
Right.
Okay, now, for a last reminder, we want to thank you, of course, for joining us, and we want to thank our great crew for, and I wish the camera would pan over and catch everybody doing some exercises on their own. But certainly, Ed Nyam, would you tell people again how they can reach you if they want to? Do you do private sessions as well as classes?
Yes, I do.
Okay, tell them how they can reach you once again.
Our phone number is 330-342-0838. Our web address is Institute for Self-Healing, instituteforselfhealing.com.
All right, and we're getting ready to wrap tonight here at the Galleria with Art Cadence, sponsored by Cheryl Lee Wilson as one of the leaders. And we want to encourage you to check out the schedules, because Ed and I will be here doing Tai Chi Gong throughout these 3 weeks that we are doing the Art Cadence and the Wake Up and Live's Actor Studio and Wake Up and Live with the Arts. So join us, are participating, and about you coming down to see Ed do some of his sessions. Thanks again. See you again.